brothers and sisters in Christ. The reading is from the Paterikon of the Caves Monastery. Discourse 8, Part 5. The Life of our Venerable Father Theodosius, Superior of the Caves Monastery, written by Nestor, a monk of that same monastery. The Holy One's service to the governor and his humility. He was indeed lowly in heart and submissive towards everyone, so that the governor of the town, seeing that the boy was so meek and submissive, felt a great love towards him, and told him to stay by his church. He also gave him some fine clothes in which to go about. The Blessed One did this for a few days, as though he was carrying a heavy burden, but then took the clothes off and gave them to the poor. He himself dressed in shabby clothes, and thus went about. The governor saw him thus going about, and gave him another set of clothes, better than the first. He begged him to wear it, but he took this clothes off too, and gave it away. He did this many times. When the judge learned of this, he began to love him even more, and marveled at his humility. After this, the blessed Theodosius went to one of the blacksmiths, and told him to make him an iron chain, which he took and girded round his loins, and he went around like this. The iron was tight and cut into his body, but he went on as though this caused him no discomfort. When many days had passed, and a feast day came, his mother began to urge him to dress in fine clothes, to serve at table, since all the town's magnates would be dining at the governor's table that day, and the blessed Theodosius had been ordered to stand by and serve. This was why his mother had told him to put on fine clothes, especially when she had heard that the governor had arranged for all the town's magnates to dine with him. While he was putting the fine clothes on, being an innocent-minded youth, he was not on his guard with her, but she was watching him closely, and saw blood on his shirt. She wanted to find out the true state of affairs, and realized that the blood was caused by the chain biting into him. She was inflamed with anger against him, and got up in a furious temper, tore off his shirt, beat him, and snatched the chain from his loins. The blessed youth got dressed, as though he had received no harm, and went to serve the diners with the utmost meekness. The Holy One departs for Kiev, leaving his mother. Some time later, he heard the Lord in the Gospel saying, "Whosoever hath not forsaken his father and mother, and followed after me, is not worthy of me." And, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." Having heard these words, the divinely inspired Theodosius was inflamed with love for God. Inspired by zeal towards God, he pondered daily and hourly how and where he could be tonsured and hide from his mother. By divine providence his mother went away to a village, and was to stay there many days. The Blessed One rejoiced, and after praying to God, he secretly left home, with nothing but his clothes and a little bread, on account of the weakness of his body. Thus he set out for the town of Kiev, since he had heard about the monasteries there. As he did not know the way, he prayed to God that he might find traveling companions who would direct him on the journey he wished to make. By divine providence, some merchants on heavily loaded carts came by that way. When the Blessed One learned that they were going to that town, he rejoiced in his heart and praised God, who had fulfilled his heart's desire. He kept at a distance and did not reveal himself to them. When they stopped for the night, the Blessed One did not go up to them, but simply kept within sight of them and rested there, God being his only protection. Traveling thus for 3 weeks, he reached the aforementioned town. Since he wanted to become a monk, after his arrival he went round all the monasteries and begged them to accept him. But when they saw the boy's simplicity and his shabby clothes, they were unwilling to take him. This was God's will, so that he should be led to that place which God had called him from youth.